Play It Again, Sam is one of the most famous movie quotes of all times, and it describes the book of Deuteronomy to a T. After 40 years of wandering in the desert, the entire generation of Israelites who left Egypt are now dead except for Moses, Joshua, and Caleb, so it's the same message for a new audience. The word Deuteronomy literally means second law, not because it's a new law, but rather that it needs to be restated to this new generation that will finally be entering the Promised Land. Hopefully they can learn from their parents' mistakes. By the way, did you know that Play It Again, Sam is never actually said anywhere in that movie? Un, deux, trois, and let's begin. Like summer reruns, there's not much new here, but it's interesting nonetheless. Moses points out that it takes 11 days to go from Horeb to Kadesh Barnea, and they've done it in a mere 40 years. He reminds them about how God delivered them from slavery, about their parents' disobedience 40 years earlier, the golden calf, the scared spies, and about 40 years in the desert. Like they needed to be reminded about that. Moses is reminded that he won't get to enter the Promised Land thanks to that little temper tantrum back in Numbers. God gives them a refresher course on how to worship, when to worship, why to worship, where to worship, what not to worship, and most importantly, who to worship. God makes sure that they know that they need to obey His commands and not worship other gods. That's part of the deal. It's called a covenant. He reminds them about all the sacrifices, feasts, and ceremonies, gives them some of the first building codes, and celebrates the first Thanksgiving. Moses gives a geography lesson and tells them how great this new land is, and then comes a rerun of the 10 Commandments. Must be Easter. He lays out the plan of attack, calls up a standing army because a sitting army won't do much good, tells them that God will fight their battles if they just have faith and obey. They win a couple of battles. Moses passes the mantle of command over to Joshua, blesses the Israelites, gets a look at the Promised Land from Mount Nebo, and dies. Now it's time for Joshua to show what he's made of.